Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nor Wahidah binti Muhammad and I'm from Malacca. I'm going to present the implementation of PBL My Bujo in assisting Year 5 in improving their English classroom based assessment PBD. We move to background of the study. So in assessing pupils, we need a lot of works and a lot of criteria needs to be considered and teacher assess people's progress. All skills are being assessed and teachers can decide which level other people should be graded. So project based learning is one of the approach we where there is project-based learning, there must be a project-based assessment, as it is related to each other. So, as following the abolishment of APSR in 2020, so teachers have widely adopted project-based learning and assessment in their lessons. So the initiative emphasizes extensive writing. So this PBL is about writing skills in English classrooms. So the problem statement. There are there were 10 peoples out of 76 peoples of year 5 who get uh, the performance level 6 and 5 for level 5 only 15 pupils. So the early observation for the session 2023-24 found out that pupils could not achieve the minimum performance standard for writing, and they cannot write sentences with the correct punctuation and correct spelling. So here you can see some of the examples. And sometimes no full stop. They simply mix up capital letters and wrong spelling. So here are some example of the problem statement. So next, so that's why the project-based learning is done. So the aim of this study is to explore the implementation of PBL My Bujo as a project-based learning, and the objective of the study is to explore how My Bujo would improve the performance level of English PBD. So how does the research questions are how does my Bujo improve the writing performance level of year 5 pupils in PBD, and what is their perception using my Bujo as their writing assessment? So here are some conceptual framework. So it is derived from Harmer 2015, the concept from Harmer, we, where he stressed on the portfolio assessment as a time consuming but can be a clear evidence to assess pupils, and portfolio assessment is very holistic, and students are pupils are being assessed based on 3 or 4 pieces of work they produce during the periods. And the formative assessment is a very time consuming, as it is an ongoing assessment. That's why I plan on doing the My Bujo project-based learning to promote the autonomy in learning pupils, where they have freedom in rights, and they can, besides that, they can boost their creativity. So there are a few components of mechanism of writing, such as handwriting, penmanship, spelling, punctuation, based on Brown and Abby Wikrama books, where it is a very important mechanism in writing in the early stage of learning writings. So, project-based learning also is one of the teaching learning strategies that promote people's engagement, besides creating a constructivist learning, whereby here we mix up on some of ICTs, some masteries learnings, and many more. So let's move on the literature review. So Brown and Lee 2015 in their books define the assessment as a never-ending process that encompass much wider domain. So there are summative and formative, and they define classroom-based assessment is more individualization and subjective and need interaction of feedbacks. It is more challenges, as teachers needs some authentics and rubric for to assess their assessments. So now let's move on the My Bujo as a project-based learning and assessment. So it is an acronym for My Book of Journal. It promotes imitative writing, reflective writing, also some integrated of ICT where they when they search for the informations. And the idea is adapted from the Carroll's 2018 called Bullet Journal. So as a PBL to encourage people to be more confident to write about themselves. Now let's move on the benefits of journal writing. So when we look at the SKP 4.2 and 4.3, they mostly ask them to write about themselves. So journal, my Bujo also can be a medium for them to freely write about themselves. And it is a medium of self-practice outside this class and also some extensive writings exercise. Besides that, it can boost their creativity and in ICT in and the integration of ICT involvement were happening here. So my book also encourage people to write, improve their writing. Besides that, lastly, the two ways it is a two ways communication and establish good relationship with teachers. So next, let's move on the research design. This is some qualitative research. There are 21 pupils of year 5 and it is a case study, and we used pre and post qualitative assessment. Besides having interviews for around 9 peoples, and also the document analysis. Okay, here are some instruments where is the journal or the book, my bujo. So the book my bujo guidelines. Okay, along the way I produced these guidelines so that I have made on track what will they uh, would do during the process. So it was adapted. This guideline was uh, taken from their textbook and some of from their DSKP and also their CCL, Children's Contemporary Literatures. All right, so here is a qualitative assessment rubrics from the SKP from the standard prestasi. So these are some interview open questions interviews, and also the research procedure. These are the research procedures as usuals. Okay, and uh, these are the research ethics as permissions. Okay, this has been applied from ERAS, the permission to do the research, and the findings also has answered the research questions one where my bujo increases their writing assessments. So we can see from the pre and post assessment. Okay, and then we can see from the pre-assess and post-assess they did better from the pre-assess in term of writing, and also they can write with paragraph with a lot of mm, some correct spelling, some paragraphs, and many more. And here is their individuals writing improvements of the writing assessments. And then we move on the result number 2. People's perception, they motivate to write by doing this my bujo. They love to do some decoration at their writings, and these are the excerpts. And also they enjoyed writing, whereby they love talking about themselves. They can share everything. Okay, by the way, this bujo sometimes is very secretive, very confidential, so they only share it with me, and I am with my ethics research ethics is very confidential with them, so I won't share whatever they have written in the books. All right, here is the some discussion for these uh, studies, and my bujo really improved their writing PBD assessment, and there is an implication in this project whereby students can relate themselves and they are motivated to write. They have freedom to choose what topics they have given, and then project-based learning can give a positive impact to the pupils, and for the teachers as a facilitator facilitate them along the way doing these projects. So here are the samples of the bujo, and That's all from me. Thank you.